Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN Kerbeck, and our show today is the Mallorca Connection. We're super excited to have our dear friend and team member, Mr. Roland Friedl, back with us to talk about the process of writing his first book. Welcome to the show, Roland.
Hello, Dr. JACALYN. Great to see you again.
Great to see you as well. If you missed our last show, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, talking about doubling or possibly tripling your supplements. And Roland and I are both Juice Plus distributors. So take a look at that over on our YouTube channel. So Roland, in addition to everything else that you're already doing and the content that you're creating, you are writing your first book. Before we dive into it, if you could share with people a little bit about how you work with your clients and how you can help our audience.
Okay, thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us. My name is Roland. As you can hear from my accent, I'm not a Native American or even British English speaker. I'm born in the middle of Europe in a small country in Austria, so I speak a German dialect, Austrian dialect. My background, I went to university. I joined different universities because I was always very curious to learn different stuff. So the first was history and German philosophy. The reason for that was because one of my teachers told me you cannot understand a single minute in the moment if you don't know history about the last 2,000 or 3,000 years. So I studied history. He inspired me to study history. It was really interesting. Then I went to the business school. So I studied business, international business on the University in Vienna. Then I went to the US. I was studying their sociology and US foreign policy in Athens, Ohio. And finally, I went to Spain and Salamanca to study Spanish and the culture of South America. So I was always willing to learn and stuff. So I made a normal career, went to the corporate world, had a very fast career as an employee, a salesperson, sales director, manager, and then the youngest member of board of directors of a company. But it didn't satisfy me at all, because I know that for the Americans it sounds crazy, but 5 weeks of vacation is not enough for me. I love to travel. I love to explore the world. So I decided, okay, I want to change things. I have to start my own business, and I have to start a business that makes me independent as soon as possible. So I started different businesses. To be honest, some failed, which was a great learning for me, and some were very successful. So it's quite well balanced. And besides my different business in different areas, in different industry, I started actually by accident because some clients in my main business asked me if I can deliver some trainings or sales trainings, management trainings. So I started 2.5 decades ago in Switzerland. I started a company called Spartan Performance Systems. So where we support big companies like Xerox, OpenText, big international companies. I traveled the world with them, delivered trainings in North America and South America, in Middle East and Asia, in Africa, from Egypt to South Africa. So I was everywhere with them except in Australia. I don't know for any reason. I never came to Australia and New Zealand. So I was traveling all the time and sharing my knowledge and my experience in sales and leadership. That was my main income. It's still what I'm passionate about it. And besides that, I started men's work because I'm a man, and I found out that it's important for men to work on themselves, to look at their shadow sides, to look at their dark points in their life, and really work on that and become a better version of themselves. And I'm very engaged because of my traveling, and I saw a lot of pollution around the globe. So I'm very engaged in environment too. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, but the day has 24 days, and we have 7 days a week, and we have 365 days a year, so plenty of time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Roland. And we do have a comment from Frank McGuire over on Facebook. Hello. Hello to you as well. Hello. So, Roland, the process of writing a book, wow, it's very interesting. I currently have 6 books out that I've written since 2021, and I've got, I think, 5 more coming out this year. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. So tell us what your process has been, and then we can go back and forth, and I can share some questions that I have based on what I know.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, first of all, it was always a dream of mine since I went to school to become an author and write a book. And to be honest, I think I was 11, 12 years old when I was thinking, okay, buying a sailboat, sail across the world, and get the what was it called, the Bublitzer Prize, and also the Nobel Prize for writing. This was a dream in my youth. Actually, I published newspapers in school, school and stuff like that. But I was always too shy to write. I always thought, no, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Who the hell is interested in what I'm writing and stuff like that? So I never, ever started. I never, ever started. It was always in my dream, always writing stuff. And then, I started my businesses. As I said in the beginning, I became a very popular, I guess, successful coach and trainer worldwide for global businesses. And I trained thousands of delegates worldwide. They always asked me, do you have a book? Did you ever write a book? And I said, no, but I can make a book. I can recommend you books because there are authors who do better than me in writing stuff like that. So I never did it. And to be honest, then you came out with your books and you inspired me, and then you introduced me to Red, and Red said, yeah, he inspired me to write a book, and it was so easy when he came along with. Well, we can talk about it a little bit later and deeper with it, and it seemed so clear for me and so easy to get started. That was the journey.
It's a great journey. And, I really admire you because so many people talk about writing a book and they just don't ever do it for whatever the reason is. And I know for myself, I actually had to set aside a specific amount of time on my calendar to actually write the book. And I started out with Red, who has his own process, which I'm not going to talk about, Red O'Loughlin, who is my book coach, but he has a different process that kind of opens your eyes and makes it easier to get the work done. What have you found so far, Roland, has been the most challenging part of actually getting something on paper?
Actually, like everything in life, doing the first step, just starting, just starting, whatever it is, just starting. This was the most, it took me for 50 years, I'm 59 this year, 60 next year, so it took me a long time. Now, serious. Just to start. I guess the hardest step is to start. Just start.
That is always the hard part. And there's a million reasons why we can't do it. But if you really want it badly enough, you will do it. And there's a certain sense of credibility that you get by writing a book. And when the book comes in the mail, like my 4th book in the children's series came yesterday, and I can't tell you what that feels like. And then I was at a party last night and I brought my books and I showed them to people, and they were it takes you to a different level, I feel, emotionally and spiritually. So when your book is finished and available for people to purchase it, what would you like them to take away from it?
First of all, it's a business book. It's related to one of the business contents I was training to international companies. It's for people who in the sales field, who are in the technology and in the sales field. The most important takeaway is from this book for business people, for salespeople, for sales managers is customer loyalty is important. Customer experience, positive customer experience is important, yes, but it's not growing your account. It's retaining your account, but it's not growing your account. If you want to grow your account, of course, a positive customer experience and loyalty is important, yes, it's the baseline, but you have to bring new innovations, things to your customer. That's what they're expecting from you. That's the main outcome.
Outstanding. We have another comment from someone who's been here on the platform and shared so much value, Brian Bartel. Hi, Brian. Nice to have you with here. He writes awesome work, Roland.
Hi, Brian. My regards to Oregon. And by the way, Brian, he invested a hell of time, and he already read the book. So we didn't launch it, but he read the book and he corrected it and gave a lot of comments. He did a hell of work. So Brian, thank you so much for the work you've done to me.
Thank you, Brian, for helping Roland. It's a collaboration of love, because as much as we want to do it ourselves, I found with myself, for the children's books, I have 2 other people that are co-writing with me. There's the book coach, there's the book editor. I just hired 2 people to market the books. So it starts to really take on a life of its own. And it is a labor of love, and it's also a labor of the pocketbook, so to speak. So now this business book, Roland, are you writing this? People typically write for one reason or another. Are you writing this for the credibility, or are you writing it for the sales? Maybe it's for both.
I'm writing it because I found out when I was delivering the content to companies and their participants that it is of value. It's absolutely of value, and it's nothing similar on the market like that by now. So I do it because I just wanted to share this content with a broader audience. Actually, if I make money on that, and it's nice, yes, but the prime target for me is to share it with a broad audience. That's about writing a book, because I have a view. You cannot facilitate trainings to millions of people in a year or something like that. That's the main part. Of course, when a book is a success, maybe it's helping my credibility, yes. But you know me, Dr. JACALYN, as a character, I give a shit on that, to be honest. I know what I can and I know what I don't can. I know my positives and the negatives. No, if it's helping me, yes, nice. But the main reason for me is really to share this knowledge and this experience in this book with a broad audience. That's all about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm laughing back here because I do know how you feel about these things. It's interesting. When I first started publishing my books, I really didn't care about the sales. I really didn't care about the money. And then after I went to this party last night, and this woman's like, "You have something really special here. It should be in all schools. What are you doing?" And I thought, what am I doing? So now I do want the sales, and I do want myself graduating to another level, I guess, of capitalism.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything in life what you're doing. If you're in sports or whatever, or in coaching or whatever, you do it because you love it, and not because you don't think about the money. The money will come like every time, yeah. But when you're chasing money, it's always running away. Do it because you have a message when you write a book or whatever. Do it because you love what you're doing. I think that's the most important thing. You have to find your purpose in life, whatever it is, writing a book or running a marathon or coaching people or playing an instrument. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, it's about living your passion and finding your purpose and share it.
Yes, I agree with you. So you got it on paper. You've had it edited. What are the next steps that you're taking?
Well, first of all, to come back to Red, Red gave an amazing opportunity how to write this book, because I said, because I always want to be perfect. So when I had it in my mind, because it happens to me when I do brainstorming, especially when I do brainstorming with other people in teams for business reasons, whatever. I have a lot of ideas coming out very quick, but when nobody is recording it or making notes, it's gone. So sometimes people ask me 5 minutes, what do you say? Well, it's gone. It comes out like crazy. When I do brainstorming, I'm not in my brain. Everything comes out from my heart, through my voice. Yeah, I'm not very conscious of this process. So I said, okay, when I'm writing, I have a good idea. I'm not so fast in writing, then I lose I lose the idea. So that's why I never started. That was one of the reasons. Besides, I thought maybe nobody's buying a book, whatever I'm writing. So, and then Red said to me, and he said something, Ron, you're a very inspiring person when you speak to people. So why don't you speak it and record it and then transcribe it? So I started. This was for me a game changer of a strategy, of a process to get started. And you know what? When I had this idea, then I made a mistake. Like other people, I had so many ideas. I had 4 books immediately in my head I want to write, and still didn't get started. But as I said, the most difficult thing the hard one is doing the first step. And then I decided, okay, I started with the business book. And the writing itself was quite easy, was really easy. The structure was easy. I started in English, then I stuck a little bit because it's not my mother language. I started English because most of this content I was delivering to English-speaking people. So I started in English, then I stuck, then I decided to translate everything to German. Then I wanted to continue in German. I said, no, I don't know. I prefer the English language, especially in business, because you have, I give an example, marketing is an English word, but we also use it in German because when you want to explain marketing in German words, you write a paragraph like this. So I always was reading business books in English, always. It's easier for me. But anyway, so I started in German, I stopped German, and then I was writing parallel with my computer with two sides open in English and immediately in German. So I was writing parallel. And I made the decision to start publishing or releasing the English version. So as I said before, Brian was so wonderful to read through the book because I was looking for somebody who understands what I'm writing about, who has a business context. He's a manager in the industry, so he has a business context. He has an understanding. He's a native speaker. He's American, and the idea, I asked him, please read it. Of course, for any grammar reasons or wordings, but also is the message clear? Because for me, the message is clear because I was facilitating it many, many times. The content, for me, it's clear, and that's sometimes a trap, Dr. Jacalyn, when it's my daily routine to facilitate this to international businesses. And then, as again, when I write this book, is it clear for the audience what my thoughts are, what my ideas are? So I ask him, is it everything clear? Is something missing to get the content in the right way and stuff like that? So yeah, that's done now. So now I have the challenge because I'm sorry, Mr. Gates, but I don't use Windows products. I use Apple products. So, but it has to be published in Word when I send it to Red, and always when I move between the windows, he sends me and I convert it into Apple because the book has a lot of graphs. I have a lot of studies in with graphs, so it's always changing. So right now it's a little bit challenging to bring this in order, and then we're gonna look for the cover, and then finally go on the market. A little bit with delay, but it's never too late.
Never too late. Excellent points. Thank you, Roland. A couple of things I wanted to share with you that hopefully will help you, because I just realized that none of my books have my personal brand logo in there. I'm thinking none of them.
Why not?
I have no idea. I just never thought of it, I guess. And then the other thing I wanted to suggest to you is, I don't know how it works there, but here we have, you can see it, Library of Congress number. And you can actually apply for that, and then it gets cataloged in the Library of Congress, and then you can send them a copy. And then it's, I don't know exactly how that helps, but it's a certain level of credibility that, cool. So I can share the website with you so you know what that is.
Thank you so much. I'm very grateful for every advice I get, because it's the first book and the first experience, and it's really it's challenging on one way, but other way it's so fulfilling, the writing, and especially when I was traveling in winter in Spain and Portugal, sitting out of my motorhome, looking at the sea and knowing everyone freezing in my home country in the snow, and I'm sitting here in the south enjoying the sun and writing on a book. It was really a nice process. Sometimes it was challenging, sometimes I hated it, but most of the time I really enjoyed it.
Fantastic. And of course, we do have some alarm going off here on the island, so I apologize. So once the book is complete, then the big, it's elusive. The question with the elusive answer is how to get it in front of as many people as possible. So if you think about how many books are released and when they're released, one thing that I learned from Red is to release it on whatever the meaning is behind the book or the title. You can actually coordinate it to a holiday. So let's say there's something come up in the business world and you release it that day. It's also a matter of the key words that you pick. And it's also a matter of who else is going to be releasing a book the same day that you are in the same categories that your book is going to be in. So you select, at least on Amazon, you select 3 categories that you want the book to be found in. And then you have certain keywords. And if, let's say, at the same day Bill Gates was releasing a book, the same day you were, I don't know, you might not have too many sales. So there's a whole mindset that goes into it. And it really is good to work with experts like Red to understand more.
Absolutely. That's why I try. Actually, this week I have a Zoom call again. And I remember many years ago, I was joining a conference. Actually, it was a conference, but I joined by virtually. I couldn't make it to Singapore by a guy who is Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know if you heard about it. He sold millions of books. Yeah, Robert. And he did a seminar about writing a book, and I joined in for an hour. They gave me an opportunity just to join in for an hour for free. And it was a funny story because I guess I joined in on the second day, or second or third day, I'm not quite sure. And there was an Asian lady, and she said, "Yeah, Mr. Kiyosaki, you're not as good as you promoted." And he said, "Lady, thank you for this comment. You're right. I'm not the best writer, but I'm the best selling one." And that's the difference. That's what I market the book.
That's huge.
It's about how to market the book. And I said, yeah, that's what you have to learn, how to market it. Because as you said, so there's so many books released on every single day.
It's so true. And something else I just want to add, that this is a personal reflection for me, is that when I was sitting there at this party with these books and I was just going to give them away, and the one person said, "Why would you give it away? I'm going to pay you for it." And I still was like, no. And then she finally just put the money in my bag. And I thought, you know what? Why shouldn't I get paid for it? It costs money to get the book done. There's a lot of costs that people don't realize, especially if you're working with an illustrator. And most illustrators charge per page. So if you think about how many pages there are, it's, even my nonfiction book that's coming out is being illustrated to make it stand out from other people. That brings us up to the next thing, the cover, the front cover, the back cover. That's what people are going to see. So Roland, are you going to have retailers, brick and mortar retailers, carry your book?
No, I will go on this, this huge platform with the large A. I will go on this platform, and I did a lot of surgery, looking at similar books, what kind of crafts they're using, what kind of colors they're using. So the best-selling books, the free bestsellers. So because there's no copyright on that, so I just do a lot of research about, because I know, because when I buy books, I always love to go to a bookshop. I remember when I was in the US, I was Barnes & Noble, so sorry for this commercial. Barnes & Noble, I was buying books like crazy, I remember, then ship it to Europe, and I don't know, 3 months, 4 months later, they came because they had a very good, cheap price. I guess it was 40 pence per pound to ship it to Europe, but it didn't go by air freight, so I had to wait 3 or 4 months. But anyway, so I always loved to go to bookshops. I always loved it. But with the last years, it's more about going online to the huge A, but you cannot see the book totally. You just see the cover. The first thing you see the cover and the title. So I know that most people decide buying a book by the cover and the title. That's the first impression of it. When you meet, when you're dating, when you see somebody, the first, of course, it's the outside world. You stay with the person because of the inside world. It's the same with the book. You see the book and you see the cover. That's the first impression that I get, and then you keep reading when you love the content. So I know the cover is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. And an advantage that you have, Roland, in terms of marketing is that you have 2 shows here, so you can market them on here. You can also go to the corner bookstore and also books, blogs, and poetry and market it there. So I know our team wants to support you, and we're excited. So you just give us the go ahead. We'll have you on here reading.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very looking forward to bring the baby. Give birth to the baby.
And when
I've been pregnant with the baby for 50 years. It's time to release it.
It's going to feel great to get it out into the world. So, Roland, also what's important is any testimonials. Are you thinking about having anyone write a testimonial for the book?
I was thinking about asking 2 guys in the US to write a foreword. Do you mean a foreword, like a testimonial? Or what do you mean?
There's a foreword and then there are testimonials. So testimonials are you give the book to people in advance, or you give them a chapter in advance, and then they write something. That Roland Friedl really nailed it when he wrote about blah, 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 or this is a book that
that's the next step now in July. Yes, yeah, that was missing. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So for anybody who's out there who's in your network, are you looking for people to offer their testimonial, or you're going to contact people directly?
Well, if somebody is willing to do so, please contact me, but I also will contact people. And yeah, as I said, every chapter is finished. The author's page is finished. The glossary is finished. The thanks side, the acknowledgement page, everything is finished. What I need is a forward and by some people and testimonial. That's what's missing, and the cover.
Fantastic. Oh, one other thing to consider, Roland, because I haven't done this yet to the level of which I need to do it, is book signings, is being in person somewhere signing books, because it's amazing the value that people see in having a signed copy from the author.
Yeah, I will do this when I'm going to deliver in-house, not virtual, so meaning analog, how to call it. When I deliver trainings again to companies directly in their venue or in a hotel, I will bring books for sure. Yes, I will do that.
And Roland, something else that's so cool about your lifestyle is because you are traveling, you really could go to so many different countries and so many different places and do book signings. So you are like a one-man marketing team right there by yourself.
Yes, that's also in my mind when I continue my traveling, asking some organizations, business organizations like the business chamber or stuff like that, where business people meet, and asking the permission, because I did it before I was writing book. I was always invited by different chambers to talk about a certain topic. So I'm also thinking about using this way of marketing my book, doing a keynote speak in front of chamber members, business people, and also market my book. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way that you're thinking. The more exposure you get, the more people you're going to help.
Absolutely, and I love it. And it's also another opportunity to connect with people and share our experiences.
I think it'll be interesting to see once you have this book published, if you get the writing bug and you want to write more and more, and it becomes part of your daily life.
Well, actually, it is. It's on my list, yeah, because I'm getting older, and then I'm thinking about, okay, what can I do? Because I'm not thinking about retiring, never ever. I want to be active as long as I stay in this temple on this planet. So I want to stay active. So, but to be realistic, I'm still good in shape, for my age. But I have to be realistic. Maybe in 20 years or in 25 years, I have less energy. So I'm thinking about what can I do to stay active, and maybe it's less traveling, but it still will be doing broadcasting with USA Global TV and radio, broadcasting my own stuff with the men's stuff, and also writing books. But I guess as long as I can see, or maybe I can dictate it when I lose my eyesight. Hopefully not. So actually, it's part of my I wouldn't say retirement program, because as I said, I don't want to stop working. I just love what I'm doing. But yeah, it's going to be a part of it. I have more ideas for more books coming in, and different topics in business, in the lifestyle I'm doing, in the men's world. Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
And Roland, with the decades of experience you have as a successful entrepreneur, multi-serial entrepreneur, that there is a business brand and then there's also a personal brand. So you have numerous websites and multiple companies. How do you distinguish where you're going to put the asset? So the book is going to be an asset. And for example, for me, I have USA Global and I've got Dr. Jacalyn. So my books are all under Dr. Jacalyn, so that there's a real fine separation between the television network and then my personal brand. How's it working for you?
Cool. Didn't really think about that because I'm in so many different areas engaged. I have 7 websites. Actually, Sam is producing now website number 8. Actually, I have a social media consultant. She gives me free. She's very good at that, by the way, and she gives me free advice. Actually, tomorrow evening, the next one. And she said, Roland, you have to focus more and bring it more, because especially on social media, only have one side and promote there and post there. You cannot post on 5 sites, websites. Yes, I'm thinking about more concentrating it on one. Yeah. I'm working on that. But I never thought about it because, to be honest, I always start. I'm inspired. I'm excited, and then I go for it. I don't think about the consequences. As I said, it's never been in my life that I was looking for the money first, because to be honest, I had this one. Well, meaning never ever means after 30 years. The first 30 years is just learning and making mistakes. In the beginning, yes, it was, but I was so many times disappointed, so many times not satisfied and fulfilled when I did good paid jobs in the corporate world, but I didn't like it.
Yes.
Well, it's not. It's of course I need money, but I have to settle my bills. No issue. That's no doubt. But money is not the number one reason for me. Not at all. Not at all.
I think where I was going with it really is, I appreciate what you shared. It's more of an accounting perspective. So having the assets that belong under the business brand versus the assets that belong under the personal brand. So if you're writing a business book, that could fit very nicely with your business, rolandfriedl.com. But if you're writing something of a personal nature, that might be something separate. So I think I really worked hard to separate mine. So for example, if I ever wanted to sell this television channel, that my personal assets for Dr. Jacalyn were completely separate.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Yes.
Yeah. So if you wanted to sell one of your businesses, then certain assets would stay with you and wouldn't go with it.
Yeah. Makes sense. Absolutely.
So when you were writing the book and you think about, again, all the experience that you have, all the companies that you've worked with, all the employees, all the people that you've mentored, how are you able to streamline it so that it fit into how many pages?
It's 150 pages. Because I thought, to be honest, I always said it to the delegates when I was facilitating workshops worldwide. I only recommend books that I read. I think they're good and they're on the point, not like this. They're like this. So I did the same with my book. It's only 150 pages in total. So I said I write what is necessary to get the contact, to get an understanding, but I don't have fillers. No, I don't use fillers because I hate it. You know me personally. I hate long meetings and stuff like that. I love to come to the point. And that's in the book. It's in what is necessary to get the point, to understand it. But there are no fillers, so it's only 150 pages.
Do you see this book as a teaching tool that leaders will use, or do you see this as a tool for leaders to work on themselves, or do you see it at the organizational level? Where do you see this playing a role?
It's working on different levels. It's helping an organization itself. It's helping the sales manager, and it's helping the salesperson. So it's working on 3 levels. It's a teaching book, but if the book sells and people say, okay, it's cool, then I will bring a practical book with a lot of practical exercises they can use. So the practical exercises I was delivering through the workshops will be in an extra book. There will be a working book coming out too. So
I think that's such a good idea, because that really will differentiate you from a lot of the other authors out there.
Yeah, so there will be a book coming out related to the content with about 25 or 30 exercises. So it really can work. They can bring one of their clients they have in mind and can work through the whole process on this client with this working book. It's coming too, yeah.
And Roland, when you think about a particular launch date, it's going to be this year?
The first book, yeah, I want to bring it in summer, so people have time in summer to use the vacation to read the book. Yeah, so August, yes, August.
And beginning or end, any idea?
Now we have the July 3rd, so hopefully in 4 to 5 weeks, so in the beginning, mid-August.
Fantastic. I'm sure it's going to do really well. And something else that I haven't done yet, and I really want to do it, but it's a whole other learning capacity, is an audio book. Do you have any idea if you're going to do this so people can listen to it?
Well, the first idea is to bring it out as a paperback and as our how to call it, a Kindle version, an ebook, and Audible. I didn't think about that, but yeah, actually, some friends told me that they love to listen to audibles when they drive in the car or something like that. Yeah, why not? Why not? But I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it in English to be honest. I could do the German version and then read it myself. Would be fun, yes, but I have to find somebody in English who speaks a proper English.
I think that's a great idea. We have another comment, by the way, from Joanne Francisco. You're doing great work. Thank you, Joanne, for watching over on Facebook. We appreciate you. So my books are available in Kindle ebook as well as paperback. And I did one hardback, which was I went through another company because the children's book, it wasn't long enough. So the A company wouldn't publish it. So I like the idea of a hardback book, though, because it seems like it has more of a permanence, that it'll stay forever. Have you thought about that?
Yes, I was thinking about a book. First of all, at the beginning, I was thinking about bringing a business book in a hardcover, because most business books I have, the really good ones, I bought them all in hardcover, not in paperback. As you said, they stay forever because there's really good content. I was thinking about it, but Red gave me the advice: no, start with a paperback in the beginning, and maybe you can bring a hardcover later.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. One thing that I wasn't even aware of until I started, and let me see if I can find it, is that all books have this ISBN number. Can you see this barcode? Yes. And so the A company gives you a free one. But if you want to have the book done in hardback and you're not going through that company, you have to buy your own ISBNs.
Yes,
so,
I noticed.
Yeah. Also, we have another comment from Joanne. These are the great men who interviewed my friend, Dr. Stephen, who runs children organizations. Do you people did any plan to support them? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I know, Stephen. We had it once on, or actually we had it twice. Once on the Mallorca Connection, once on another show. Yeah, Stephen, I remember.
Oh, see, I was thinking it was Dr. Stefan Hammer. So this is Stephen, who has the charity.
Yeah, who also runs, I guess, an orphanage, a Christian orphanage in Uganda.
Yeah, so we did support them. We had them on here a couple of times, right?
Yeah, 2 times at least.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. So, Roland, as we're starting to close out for the show today, what else would you like people to know about the process of writing your first book? What are some key takeaways?
As I said, it's never too late to start. Secondly, of course, the first step is the hardest, but once you start it really is fun. Sometimes it's challenging. It's like a relationship, a marriage. Just get into it. Trust the process. Trust the process. And yeah, have fun. Start, have fun, and do, and don't think about the selling, the figures. Just start and then market it, and then maybe get surprised how it works. That's
Absolutely. All. Thank you. And we have another comment from Maxine Kerr. Congratulations, Dr. JACALYN Kerbeck. So proud of you. Thank you, Maxine. That's so nice of you. Maxine always sends out very positive affirmations on Facebook Messenger. So go and connect with her, and Joanne, as well as Brian and Frank. So one thing I wanted to share that I learned from writing and publishing is, if you have any interest in doing a series, a book series, to plan it out in advance. And that really has helped me tremendously. So if you do another book in the business realm, maybe it'll be part of your series, part 1, part 2, part 3. And so you can start to construct it now as to what would be in the second and third books.
Okay, yeah, got it. Well, yeah, the idea is just to bring an exercise book, so people can not only read it and can also practice. Because for me, it's so important that, especially in business, when I facilitate a workshop, I guess between 40 to 60, depending on the content, 40 to 60% of the time we are spending on practical stuff. Yeah. So people get an experience, because it's a difference between a cognitive experience and an emotional experience. You only get an emotional experience by practicing. I know, Dr. Jekyll, you work out like hell every day, and it's a difference if you read about working out, or you just go to the gym and work out. It's a different experience. And it's the same with my business approach, is that people get an emotional experience, and you only get emotional experience by practicing stuff. So that's the second book is a practical book, and let's see what's coming.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. And we have a follow-up from Joanne. Thank you. Thank you. You are very welcome. Thanks for joining us today. So I think also in writing a book, an important thing to think about is, what is your why? What is it that you want people to take away from it? Why are you doing this? And when you stay focused on that, it makes it easy because you're very passionate about what it is you're doing.
Absolutely. As I said, it's all about your purpose. It's not about the money. It's all about the purpose, and go for it. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So, Roland, I know that you are traveling. You're working on your own podcast for men. Tell us a little bit about this, and when will we see you here for our audience? When can they expect to see you?
Okay. So I started to bring on it's called Roland Media in German-speaking countries, because we've the Merck Connection always find people to interview them or do interesting stuff. Also with the men's show we did, and the environment show. And then many guys came to me who just are German speaking, not very good in English. One thing, and then and also the feedback was in the men's group. They said, yeah, when we talk about deep stuff, it's not your mother language. It's very difficult to express yourself so there's no misunderstanding, because there are different nuances, different words. It's very, very difficult. So I was thinking about this, and because I also experienced, especially in the men's shop, in the panels, I love the shows, but I also was experiencing myself that I was looking for words. I had a word that was similar, but I knew that's not a personal fit, what I want to express. And then, a few weeks ago, I joined the men's festival in Austria for the second time. It was an amazing 5 days for me on my personal men's development. And I saw more. Last year was 28 men. This year was more than 100 men coming together, mostly from Germany and Austria, a few from Switzerland, all German speaking. And they're really willing to improve themselves, to become a better version of themselves. I don't say to make a better performance in the business. No, to become a better version as a man in their masculinity, feeling the balls again. And on the other hand, there was amazing facilitators, really amazing workshops. So it was a game changer for me too, this 5 days with this man. And I decided, because I do men's work too, I have my bi-weekly with Brian, by the way, is part of it, men's meetings online with people from different parts of the world share this stuff and so on. And I said, Ron, you have to focus. You want to do more men's work? Or then the idea came on the men's festival, bringing up a platform for these amazing facilitators in the German-speaking countries who do just an amazing stuff, but not good in English, or no English at all, or not good in English, and they're only working in a small market like German, Austria, Switzerland, not internationally. So it doesn't make sense them to go broader. So the idea came up to bring this on a German speaking. I know the market is small, there's not many people, but it's not that's, as I said, it's not for me for the money. It's just I have to do it. I have to support this. So I bring up. It's called Roland Media. Is the channel called, and the show is called Wild at Heart, because I still love the book by John Eldridge, Wild at Heart, and it's a German version of what we did. And USA Global TV and radio was an amazing thing. It was panelists. This was just panelists. What we do there is that this different men who do an amazing job bring. We don't do interviews. We do episodes of their content. So actually today I was broadcasting it an hour before we started the It's Your Health and Lifestyle with Daniel, an amazing guy who works and on sexuality and tantra. Actually, we had it once on the show in English because he speaks English. But he does a lot. The only work he does is in German-speaking countries, and we produced the second episode today. It's becoming a self-determined life. So we talked about these 5 steps in your life. From birth to puberty. How you call it, puberty? When you're 30, 40.
Puberty.
Sorry.
Puberty.
Yeah, puberty. And then the next is from puberty to starting a family, then from starting the family to getting elder and go to community and stuff like that. So so I offer this platform to amazing trainers in doing men's work, and they're bringing up different episodes. So we're doing series of that, not one interview and the next one. We do series of that to keep the audience. And because what I saw is that some of these men are doing their own podcasts, but they only have a few viewers. And so we came together on the last day on the Men's Festival and said, you know, I do the platform for you guys. You focus on the amazing work that you're doing. I do the German-speaking platform. And now it's 20 men. And all of them have a few viewers, but we're bringing all together on one channel. We have hundreds and thousands of viewers, and everyone is benefiting. And that's what I always loved about the JACALYN, the sharing and caring with other people. And because the more we share, the more success we have, and that's the idea about it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Roland. I appreciate it. And we have a number of comments that we're not going to be able to get to because our next show is coming up. But Roland, we'll look forward to seeing you back here in 2 weeks, correct?
Well, in 2 weeks we do another It's You Have a Lifestyle, but next Monday we do another TMC. Or if free. Yeah.
All right. So Roland will be here next week for the Mallorca Connection, and It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. We're doing every 2 weeks. So thanks for the clarification. Yes. So many shows I get confused. Okay. We are proud to say that this show has been sponsored by Diane Floyd-Boehm. Cool. Thank you, Diane Floyd-Boehm, official VIP sponsor. And we're going to take a look at Diane's clip as we close out for today. Thanks again. We'll see you soon. Our next show is coming up, Entrepreneur and so much more.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diane Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diane Floyd-Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diane's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diane's Little Girl in the Moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, its powerful theme that we're each of us different yet all of us the same plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diane's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diane's delightful books and much more at dianefloydboehm.com. Visit dianefloydboehm.com. That's dianefloydboehm.com.